So I'm just out on my walk while my son's at the athletics, throwing the javelin and shot put and all this. And I mean, this walk is something else, isn't it? In the forest. I mean, look at this. There's no wind. This is peace and quiet for yourself. And I guess this is how I decompress, and it is an important process to decompress from work. And some people do that in different ways, you know. But I mean, I particularly just find it helpful to go for a wee walk, you know, like this in the woods or somewhere else, or someone else might find it helpful to listen to some certain music. I've been listening to music again. Yeah, and just, I guess the footsteps are, in some ways, you could say, are doing a bit of processing for you, helping you to think through things a wee bit. But also, you're just getting all the chilled vibes of out in the forest or on a nature kind of foot trail. I'm sure there's must be something near where you are that you could go out and enjoy, you know. Just seen a couple of people walking dogs. I've noticed that there's some blackberries coming out now, yeah, so that's a nice little thing to do. I mean, I just ate some more raspberries, even though we just seem to have never-ending raspberries, you know, this year at least. And but now it's the time for the blackberries, you know. This is all blackberries that I'm walking through. These ones aren't ready yet because they're all blackberries. They're not ready, these ones, yet, because they're not in the sunshine very much, you know. If you want to find a patch that's in the sunshine, they've literally just started coming out now. And the cherries are out as well, actually. You could always look for some wild cherries, do a bit of foraging, or some blackberries, you know. Yeah, and there's often community orchards, you know, in different places. So you could look up, you know, on Google or something, community orchard. I mean, there's loads of them in Kent. Well, not loads of them, but you know, there's every, you know, there's a park in Kent, just where I live, has got one. And then if you go for long distance walking or cycling, there's about 2 or 3 within that distance. And they're massive, you know, and there's like endless apples in season. So that's something to do later in the season. But right now, it's perfect time for, even for example, you know, you could pick some old dead flowers, or even a few, you know, wildflowers like what's lying around, and make a little kind of posy of flowers for the house. And like, these little flowers are amazing, you know. Might make a nice little vase of them, or these ones here, look. So these are just like dead thistles, you know. You could put them in a flower vase, you know, or vase or whatever it is. Even some thistles here, you know. These thistles can tend to keep for ages as well. So it might be an activity to look at a bit of foraging. Maybe pick some bits to put in a flower vase, or maybe pick a few blackberries that have started coming out now and just have them on your breakfast or dessert or something, you know. But have a good one for now, and see about doing a bit of wandering in the countryside, decompression, fruit picking or flower arranging type stuff. Enjoy. Yeah, so I thought I'd just show this cornfield. So this field, they plant all sorts in it, but this year they've got corn in it, and this is the footpath that we're meant to take along the side of it. But slightly overgrown with bits and bobs, so we'll see how we get on, but it's just nice to get out and do something like this, because that's what it's like there, you know. Pretty epic. Because yeah, today I've been doing all sorts of bits of stuff, but part of what I've done today is done a lot of typing. So I've been writing a project management report type thing, and it was productive amongst everything else doing that. But what it did do is give me a bit of RSI in my wrist and my hand, you know, from so much typing and clicking, you know. So kind of just stretching that out a wee bit, and it's this thing where it's good sometimes to do something like that in stages, you know. So I'm just having a wee think about it as I'm going for a walk, and just thinking like, how could I add something in differently, or, you know, kind of in a sense planning how I'm going to finish it off, you know, and that, you know, because, you know, I basically did two-thirds of it, you know, and so it's good when I'm going for a wee walk like this to potentially just think that through a little bit more, you know, because it kind of helps me problem solve as I'm doing a bit of bilateral with my footsteps and taking in the nature. And, you know, it probably means that when I do sit down again, I'm going to be more efficient at writing it all. I won't have to think it through so much because I'll have figured it out in my head while I'm going for a walk, you know. So yeah, it might be, if you've got a report to do or some particularly complicated thing a little bit to sort out, you could go for a walk and think about it, you know, a little bit. And the bilateral from walking and tracking things with your eyes is going to help with that. So happy days on that front. But I'll also be listening to tunes and checking out all the cool things in nature and trying to spot myself some wild fruit for foraging and stuff like that. Have a good one. Well, I thought I'd just show these flowers that smell really nice actually. I forget what they're called. They're just wild flowers at the side of the field, you know. And they're really lovely. And so this is the kind of thing that you can find when you're out exploring, you know. That you might not see if you didn't go for a wander on the edge of a field on a walk path. So that's just there like that, look. And this is the footpath continuing. Oh God.